I'm going to show you the 15 most common things that people often overlook when they're purchasing a spec home from the builder. So you got to watch this before you buy that home. Tip number one is you want to make sure you inspect the interior and exterior details. It's often a sign of good workmanship. If you notice there's cracking or some of the caulking is missing or some of the baseboards are showing nails or other things like that, well, you might have some signs that crew that worked on your home maybe didn't have the best quality assurance. So one of my good electrician friends gave me a little secret. He told me that you have a good electrician, one that pays attention to detail. If you take a look at these screws, see how these screw slots are all pointing upwards and they line up straight? They happen to be like that throughout the whole house. So whoever came in and built this house, at least as far as the electrician goes, they paid enough attention to detail to have all those things line up straight. It's just one little trick I've learned over my years to find out if the crew that's building your home is paying attention to quality. It's a small thing, but it indicates larger things. Oftentimes where you'll have a door that meets the wall, you'll have some caulking that needs to be done. Make sure you put that on your punch list and go back and ask the builder to recaulk any areas that might have some opening or closing, like doors or windows, or something that might be expanding, contracting, like the baseboards. Don't forget to walk around the outside of the house. Make sure the siding is all nice and secure. And all the edges are caulked. Make sure the windows are the weep holes are all uncovered. Make sure everything looks in good condition as far as the soffit and fascia. There's no loose parts on there where birds can get in. Nothing that's been blown off in the wind. Also, when it comes to drainage on the outside, if they've got these downspout extensions on, that's always a good sign. You want to make sure the water gets away from the home at least 10 feet out. That way, it's not settling around the base of the foundation. When it comes to stucco, make sure you look at the expansion joints and cracks. Make sure the cracks aren't too big where water's going to get in. Stucco does crack, and that's fine, but just make sure they're not too big or have some stains or discoloration where you might have some signs of water intrusion. Often they'll crack off the corners. As long as they're not too big, it's not too much of a thing that you need to worry about. Tip number two is going to be make sure you get the paint touch-up cans. Typically, a builder will leave behind a paint touch-up set and also maybe some stucco colors, maybe broken tiles or some extra floor planks just in case you scratch one or damage one or need to do the touch-up paint after your friends that you hired for free move everything in for you for free and you give them some pizza and root beer and you call it good. Well, they may not be as careful as professional movers. So make sure you get that touch-up kit. Usually it's going to be in the pantry somewhere in here. I don't see one in here, so let's take a look. I bet you it's downstairs. So if it's not in the pantry, most likely it's going to be in the basement if they have a basement or out in the garage. Here we can see they left 5-gallon touch-up paint. It's got the code on here, the formula on top. So if you need to go back and buy some more, you can easily go do that. They also left the stucco color. They left some floor planks here and some tiles and even the grout color. So this is nice to have on hand. Make sure you don't throw any of that stuff away. You keep it somewhere because almost guaranteed at some future point, you're going to want to match that either in the basement or you might need that if something gets damaged upstairs. Tip number three, builder's plans and specs. Make sure you ask for them. Not all builders will give you that, but hopefully the builder that you're working with will give you that. At least a floor plan of what they had in mind for the basement when you go to finish that basement off. A lot of people won't understand what these plumbing pipes are sticking out of the ground here. This is for a future bathroom. If you had the builder's plan, they're going to have some dotted lines on that basement plan to give you an idea of what they had in mind for the basement, where the walls were going to go, where the doors were going to go, where things like that were going to be. Also, on those builder's plans, you're going to have a really good idea when it comes to bearing walls. So before you go and start taking things out, you know that, for example, this wall and the wall on the other side over here is a bearing wall. they can't be just removed without consequences. They're actually holding the floor up. So if you go in the future and want to do an addition or finish the basement off, if you have those builder plans and specs, it's going to make your life a lot easier because you don't have to now go hunt those things down. And when you draw the basement out, you can take those plans into the city and get a permit to finish off the basement much easier if you have the original set of plans. Tip number 4, understanding builder warranties. There's lots of fine print in these documents. You need to understand what they cover, what they don't cover. Often, they might not cover structural items. They might not cover appliances. They might not cover workmanship issues because they hire their subs. They often think that they're not responsible for the subcontractor workmanship issues. There's lots of fine print in builders' warranties. Some builders offer extended warranties, 2 years I've seen recently, that cover absolutely everything top to bottom. But you need to know what's in your builder's warranty. Read that with a magnifying glass and go over it with a fine-tooth comb, top to bottom, so you understand what's in that builder warranty in that brand new home that you built. That home should be covered against any defects for at least a year. Often in Utah, against builder construction defects, people can come back after that builder if it's negligence or something major for up to 10 years. When I was building homes, I had to cover all of my homes for 10 years, even if something went wrong and I wasn't responsible for it. They can come back after me and make me pay for that, even if a subcontractor did the work and I didn't actually do any of that work. But the builder is responsible for all of his workers' work and the subcontractor's work. So understand the builder's warranty, what's in it, and how to protect you. Tip number 5, beware of builder contracts. Builder contracts protect the builder, not you. They're usually one-sided contracts. Oftentimes they'll have disparagement clauses in there where you can't talk to your friends, neighbors, or social media, online, anything if you have an issue or a problem with that builder. They will come back and sue you for any disparaging remarks you make against them. So they protect themselves and their reputation by putting these clauses in there. Builders' contracts are going to have lots of papers to them. Make sure you have somebody reviewing all that paperwork that has experience. Either an attorney, a trusted friend, or better yet, an experienced agent who's been there, done that, knows these builder contracts inside and out. So you have somebody on your side watching out for you. And remember, these builders are offering buyer's agent commission. That means you can hire a real estate agent to protect your interests, and it's not going to cost you anything extra. Usually they will offer to pay the buyer's agent commission. And in my experience, it would be crazy if I were going to another city or another state and I went and started looking at homes without a buyer's agent, because I don't know that area. I don't know that particular builder. I don't know those builders' contracts. I don't know what's in it for me. I've had clients come back to me after they signed a contract in tears because now they can't get out of it, or they're going to lose their earnest money, or they're going to be in a world of hurt because they did not understand what they were signing. So that's tip number 5. Beware of builder contracts and one-sided contracts. They protect the builder and not you. Okay, tip number 6 is going to be wait for this soil to settle before landscaping. Often when these builders backfill their homes, they don't compact and settle the soil around the house when they're backfilling. So if you wait at least a season, this soil will often sink a foot or more. And I recently had a client who bought a brand new home, and I cautioned him to not landscape everything right away. Well, he went ahead and landscaped everything right away. And all the soil around his house, the trees, the shrubs, the sprinkler line, everything sank about 18 inches. He had to go back the next year in the spring and redo everything all over again. So my recommendation would be, as hard as this is, either come back and water settle it, water jet it, and compact it with water all the way around. Do that really well, and you'll notice the soil will sink down, or wait for a season and that soil will sink on its own before you landscape everything. You can see here what I'm talking about. See how this is already settling? That's gone down about a foot. If you take a look at that, and this home is still brand new. It's only been completed for a couple of weeks. So this is going to settle a lot more of a time. So before you landscape, make sure you get everything settled as far as the foundation goes around the outside, or you might be paying the price later. Okay, tip number 7 when it comes to looking at brand new spec homes from a builder. Make sure the windows operate smoothly. They open and close well. Make sure all the window screens are there. A lot of times the builders during the construction process, they'll misplace the window screens, or some of them will get damaged. They'll forget to put them on. If you have to put screens on a whole brand new house that you're just buying, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. Make sure they operate smoothly. Make sure all the locks engage well. This one here is not working actually. And that one isn't either. So make sure you ask the builder to fix those locks, that they operate smoothly. Make sure there's no dirt and dust in the window tracks. It gets gummed up in the rollers and makes those windows so they don't operate so well. Make sure the seal is good all the way around and there's no leaks or air infiltration. And come wintertime, if there are leaks and air infiltration, you'll certainly feel it, especially when the wind blows. If you do need to clean the tracks or lubricate the tracks, find out what the manufacturer recommends you use for that. Make sure you use something that doesn't attract dirt. WD-40 and some of those type of products actually attract dirt and will make things worse over time. If you use something that doesn't attract dirt, or like a silicone spray or a garage door lubricant, those are probably going to be your best bet, but you still want to check with the manufacturer and see what they recommend. So tip number 8, when you're purchasing a brand new spec home from a builder, you walk through, there's all that natural light and beauty and great views of the mountains, and it's brand new subdivision, everything looks fantastic. A lot of people overlook the fact that when they move into that house, they're going to have to get these windows covered up. Unless you want everybody to see you taking a shower or taking a bath naked, remember to make sure you budget for the blinds. Think about what type of blinds you want and start getting prices for those before you put that offer in or before you move in, for sure, because some blinds and window coverings can be really expensive nowadays. And you don't want to move in and have everything set up and then go to take a shower and realize, oh my goodness, the whole neighborhood can see me. People often overlook blinds and window coverings. Tip number 9, make sure you verify what's included. If you have to put this retaining wall in by yourself and it's not included in the home price, when you go and look at that house, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Make sure you know what the builder is including. If you want those really nice quartz countertops and the huge island like this one has, and the gas range over here, make sure you get that in writing. If you want the black light fixtures with the 2 pendants over the bar, make sure you get that in writing. If you're going in buying that home and putting it on a contract before it's quite finished yet, if you don't have it in writing, there's no guarantee you're going to get those fixtures and those items. So make sure you know what's included. Very important to have everything in writing so it's all spelled out. So if anybody forgets what you agreed to, you can go back and look at the paperwork and say, oh yeah, I remember I get that giant island with that beautiful quartz countertop that I was so looking forward to. It had my heart set on. So make sure you know what's included. Now, one of the biggest areas where I see most people getting into trouble is HOA. They're not researching the HOA fees and rules before they sign up for those fees and rules and buy that house. They get all excited about the house and the neighborhood and everything looks great, but they don't read the HOA rules and fee schedule closely enough. The typical HOA in Utah is going to be anywhere from $100 to $200. The more pricey ones can go up to $250 or $300. But I do know an area in Utah, Daybreak, that has fees as much as $1,000 a month because there's multiple HOAs. Now, we're not like Florida where the fees can be $3,000 a month, but you need to know what those HOA fees cover, what they provide, what they allow for, and what they will give you. Are they doing just snow removal? Are they taking care of a park? Are they going to mow your front lawn for you? If they're going to shovel the snow, how much snow are they going to shovel? Is it just the sidewalk in front, or are they going to shovel your driveway? You need to know for certain what those HOA fees and rules are. Oftentimes, you won't be able to have RVs or limit on door colors, and they're also going to want to micromanage what you plant in the front of your house. Some of them, like in Daybreak, will even micromanage what you plant in the backyard of your house. So you don't want to be stuck with an HOA that you can't get along with. Some HOAs have no signs in the front yard. Some HOAs don't allow you to rent out to people, or maybe if you have an accessory dwelling unit, and I explained those in that video right here, if you're interested in how those can help you afford more home. Accessory dwelling units are a great option, but if your HOA does not allow you to rent out a basement apartment or an accessory dwelling unit, then you might be stuck, and you need to know that stuff before going into signing that agreement. So make sure you understand what the HOA fees and rules are before you sign anything, and certainly before you close on that house. All of that. Also, be aware of the community reinvestment fee. So community reinvestment fees, or sometimes they're called transfer fees. Every time you sell that home, you're going to be charged a certain fee just for selling the home, and that money goes back to the HOA or goes back to the developer. Community development fee. They're becoming more and more common now in Utah, where every transaction that goes on in that community, the developer's going to get a fee. Typically, it's going to be 0.5%, but I've seen them up to 2.5%. So not only you're paying your realtor fees and your other costs when you go to sell a house, but if you get hit with a surprise fee for selling your home of 2.5%, you're not going to be too happy about that. And those things will be covered in the development agreement and the HOA fees and rules and regulations. So you need to know about all that stuff before you sign. Tip number 11, your home might be done, but the neighborhood might not be complete yet. So you're going to have lots of construction going around, lots of dust, street sweepers, and you're even going to have nails in the road, give you flat tires and things like that. So if you're buying the first home in a brand new community, just be prepared for lots of construction traffic, lots of noise, possibly early in the morning, concrete trucks, people blocking the road, flat tires, and other things like that. If you can do it, buy toward the end of the building process. Get a completion timeline from your builder on when they might be finishing those homes so you get a good idea of when those homes are going to be done. You don't want to live in a construction zone for the rest of your time in that brand new home. It might cause you a lot of grief and heartache you're not prepared for unless you go in with the mindset that, okay, this is a construction zone. I know what I'm getting myself into. I know this neighborhood's not quite done yet, but that's okay. I can live with it because I'm getting a great deal on the house that I want. Tip number 12 would be check the home's comps. Check the comps of that home against the other homes in the neighborhood. Make sure you're not overpaying for it. Spec homes often will have upgrades that inflate the value of the home. Make sure you're not paying for something that you didn't want or don't need, or at least not overpaying for it. They're going to give you a good deal on it, that's great. But make sure you check the comps so that you don't just fall in love with that particular home that you're looking at and overpay for it. Oftentimes when they're decorated nice like this one is, you just fall in love with it. But when they take all of this brand new stuff out and you're just left with a blank slate, it might not look quite as nice. So understand the difference between a staged home and a model home, and what's in the model might not always be included in the home that you're looking at. So make sure you understand the comps in your area and what your home value is compared to everything else, and make sure you're not paying too much for it. So concrete does two things. It gets hard and it cracks. When do you need to be worried about concrete cracks? I call it the 2-quarter test. I've been doing this for a long time. When I built custom homes, we made sure that we compacted everything really well before we poured the concrete, and we often put welded wire mesh or rebar down to control the cracks. And then later on, I learned if you cut control joints in the floor with saw blades, do some saw cuts, you can get the concrete to crack where you want it to crack and not just random ones all over. But when should you be worried about floor cracks in your concrete? I call it a 2-quarter test, like I just said. If you can take 2 quarters and stick it anywhere in that crack, along that crack, that's when you know you need to talk to a builder or you might have a problem. That floor probably wasn't compacted great, or they certainly don't have any reinforcement in the floor. And you can actually get water seeping up. If you have groundwater, Utah's pretty dry, so we don't get a lot of groundwater intrusion, but you can get bugs and other things. And if you carpet over that, you might end up feeling that crack depending on how wide it gets. The other thing you need to have the 2 quarters for is the up and down test. So if you put 2 quarters flat on the ground, and there's a variation more than those 2 quarters in elevation from one side to the other, you might have a problem there because one side might be sinking and one side might be heaving. And guaranteed when you put carpet over that, you're certainly going to feel it. You can take that and you can grind it down, and then you can fill it in with concrete crack filler. That way you can minimize the effects of that crack over the long term. Usually within the first year or two is when you're going to notice most of the concrete cracks and the problems. After that, most of the settling has already taken place and you're not going to have too many more issues with it. So just keep an eye on it for the first year or two. Make sure you don't have too many problems with cracking in your basement floor. Tip number 14, you want to make sure you open all the cabinet doors. Make sure they all open and close. Make sure the reveal or the distance between the doors on the top and the bottom is the same all the way across. Also, make sure that these doors open and close. They're not cockeyed. They hit the same time every time you open and close them. One of the things you can check for how good your cabinet is it made out of particle board or not? Particle board, when it gets wet, it's going to deteriorate and rot a lot faster. Also, the corners here, if they're dovetailed, it's much better. If they're just glued and stapled like these, it might be a sign that you don't have the best cabinet quality there is. But remember, you get what you pay for. Your custom builders are usually going to use dovetail drawer joints and better quality materials. Production builders are often going to use nailed and stapled joints and particle board cabinet. But as a bare minimum, you want to make sure the doors are solid and not particle board. And tip number 15 happens to be my most important tip. Get an independent home inspection. It might be tip number 15, but it's tip number 1 on priority list. Make sure you get an independent home inspection. A lot of people think this home's brand new. There can't be anything possibly wrong with it. The builder did such a great job. Everything looks fantastic and new. All of this staging things just make it look wonderful. And sometimes it's like buying a brand new car. You don't know if it's a lemon because of all the brand new shiny paint and you're excited about it and everything like that. But when you dive under the hood and start taking a look at it, there might be some issues. I've had lots of clients who have bought brand new homes over the years who have had plenty of issues with water problems and leaks and other things. They could have saved themselves so much heartache and so much money and they just got a professional home inspection. So I recommend to all my clients, make sure you get a home inspection. They need to check every inch of that house just like they would a 100-year-old house. New homes are only as good as the people that put them together. The builders can't control the subcontractors all the time when they're putting these homes together. So these homes are only as good as the subcontractors that work on them. So please, out of all of these items, make sure you do this and hire a professional home inspector, even if your home is brand new. Buying a new build in Utah or any state is exciting, but I promise you, if you use these 15 tips, it'll keep it stress-free for you. Save you a lot of money, heartache, and hassle in the future, and make your buying experience so much better. If you'd like a free downloadable printout of these 15 tips, I've got a link down at the bottom for you. You can look down there and it'll have all the information for you. Just click on that and you can download this and take it with you when you're out shopping for new homes. Remember, always hire a home inspector. If you're hunting for a dream home or have any questions, I'm here to help. You can call or text me at 801-420-1378 or book a free Zoom consult with me. We can go over what your plans are or what you're looking for. Any free advice you want or need, I'm here to help. Hey, thanks for joining me today and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with anybody that you know that might be out looking for a brand new home, that needs some tips and pointers on what to watch out for so that they can protect themselves and have a great buying experience. So let's make your home buying journey a win so that you don't have the hassle and headache that so many other people that don't know what to watch out for go through. If this has been helpful to you, you might want to watch this other video I have up here. It's a final walkthrough with a little bit more detail on all the things you need to watch out for. And maybe your inspector might miss, but if you watch this video, it'll give you a heads up on what you should be looking for in a final walkthrough on a brand new home that you're about to purchase. So appreciate you joining me today. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.